זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, נגילה ונשמחה בו, זה היום, זה היום, עשה אדוני.
Shabbat Shalom. It is wonderful to see everybody. It's so kind of strange to be back in the chapel. It has been a long time, at least for me, since we've led services. I know you were here last week with Rabbi Reinhardt, but also thinking about so long ago when I started July, if people remember, we used to have services in here. And so we would have services. Lee Erickson was our cantorial soloist because Cantor Eicher would take July off. Rabbi Kaplansky would take July off. So it's kind of fun being back here.
You're taking a lot off.
I know, you'll be taking a lot off very soon. It's okay, it's okay. Tonight we are here, we're welcoming in Shabbat, we're celebrating Shabbat, and it is an honor as we begin Shabbat to turn to page 120. We have our Shabbat blessings, and we invite forward most of the Malt family to the Bima, Marty and Michaela, Nathan, Danielle, Samantha, and Elena to lead us in our blessings.
Amen. Hey, everybody, please stand. And as I like to say, we are raising ourselves to a higher plane of holiness. We are taking an opportunity to mingle ourselves with our generations past as we stand and ascend our souls, reaching out to not just God through the Shabbat, but also those that have come before us. And then when we end up sitting down, we're literally bringing the Shekhinah, the presence, into this place. After this Kedushat Hayom, the sanctification of the day, found on page 123 in your prayer books. And first, on page 122, is the Torah-itic ordination of the Shabbat that Marty will read right now.
And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
And we sing together on page 123, the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho, be'ahava v'ratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techiroch, mikroe kodesh, zecher letziot Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'chota ve'otanu kirashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. And we say together, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and L'chaim, L'chaim, because life is good. Life is good. Please be seated, everyone. Thank you.
A couple of weeks ago, on June 14th, I shared on social media the weekly Shabbat message from Rabbi Josh Weinberg, head of ARTZA, the Association of Reform Zionists of America. His message focused on standing up and being counted, and how one balances that of standing up and being counted, after things like the subway incident in New York City the week before, in which masked protesters boarded the train and began chanting, "Raise your hand if you're a Zionist. This is your chance to get out." He said in his message, "I don't know what I would have done had I been in that subway car, but I wonder what would have happened if I had raised my hand. Would I have subjected myself to mob violence and assault? Would I have looked around for allies and supporters to come to my aid and not found any?" Like Rabbi Weinberg, after reading his article, I asked myself these same questions and even wondered only for a brief moment, do I continue wearing my star? Do I need to tuck it in at certain moments? I have not removed it, and I will actually say that I wore it with pride, along with my hostage tag, throughout France the past couple of weeks. This weekend in St. Louis is Pride. This is the city's celebration of the LGBTQ+ community. And if you haven't been before, it is an incredible and powerful celebration of being openly and authentically yourself. The St. Louis Jewish community, as an organized collective, has been showing its support and allyship for the past 15 years, marching in the grand parade and often having a booth at the festival. Sadly, this year, we are not participating as a collective. Why? There are expectations of significant anti-Gaza war protests as Pride is being sponsored by Boeing. The St. Louis Jewish community as a whole made the difficult decision as a collective to not show up and march in the parade this year. A very difficult decision, and one that has me thinking about the story of the spies in this week's Torah portion. Moses sent 12 spies to explore the land of Israel as they prepared to enter the land a mere 18 months after leaving Egypt. They came back with a bounty of produce from the land and even said it was a land or is a land flowing with milk and honey. Yet 10 of them, 10 of the 12 offered a negative report that was filled with fear and doubt, admitting that they saw themselves as grasshoppers as they compared themselves to the giants living in the land. 2 of the spies, Joshua and Caleb, offered a different perspective. They too saw the challenges and they saw the opportunities. However, the fear of the 10 spies spread among the people, and ultimately God decided that the people were not ready to enter the land, hence they wandered for 40 more years. There are so many midrashim and commentaries about this exact moment in Torah. They speak of fear versus faith, inadequacy versus confidence, and even pessimism versus optimism. The rabbis lift up Joshua and Caleb as leaders, people who were able to look beyond the obstacles and imagine the possibilities, leaders for whom feelings of hope outweighed any feelings of fear. And they are the people, the leaders that we are to emulate. As the talk and fear rose in the community, it was Caleb who attempted to stop it. As the Torah tells us, he silenced the people and said, Ki yachol nuchal la. We can do this. We can overcome this. Caleb didn't respond to what was being said by the other 10 spies. He simply stopped the conversation as he tried to reassure the community, let's not get stuck. We've got this. There's a story told of Rabbi Kalonymus Kalmish Shapira, who was the chief rabbi of Piatzina, Poland, and he spent 3 years in the Warsaw Ghetto. And to lift the spirits of the people, he would deliver rousing divrei Torah written on scraps of paper, which were buried in a canister inside the ghetto. On June 22nd, 1940, Shabbat Shalach Lecha, he wrote and spoke and explained that the sin of those 10 spies was that they were unable to see beyond the current reality. They could only see what was right in front of them, what was happening in that moment in time. They were stuck, and they were unable to think differently, think creatively, to maybe even hold on to hope. And Caleb, in that moment, Caleb doesn't argue with the spies. He doesn't argue the rabbi teaches because he actually agreed with their concerns. He agreed with their observations. Yes, the people in the land were mighty. There were significant odds and there were factors that were working against them. And there wasn't a clear path forward to go into the land. But Caleb's message was to them, if they worked through what was happening in the moment, if they trusted in themselves, if they trusted in God and trusted in one another, then, as he said, Ki yachol nuchala, we can do this. It feels like we are now in a similar moment, having to think about and make difficult decisions, because in this current reality, we Jews, we don't know all the time if we are safe, and or at times we don't feel safe. I hate that we are having to think about these decisions and even questioning what we would do if put into certain situations. And it is thoughts like these that can allow the worry and the fear to consume us. It can cause us to be no better than the 10 spies who were ready to give up. Our ancestors chose to ignore Caleb, and in that moment in this story, they admitted defeat in the face of the giants and the challenges that stood in their way. But we cannot and we must not be like them. A difficult decision was made in our community not to show up as a collective to Pride for the sake of safety. And sadly, there may be more decisions such as this. However, we cannot allow ourselves to admit defeat, and we cannot and we must not hide. We must find the strength and we must find the courage to keep being authentically and openly ourselves as Jews, individually and as a community. And we must hear Caleb's words as a rallying cry, Ki yachol nuchal la. We can do this. Shabbat shalom. And we take that rallying cry and we use Shabbat as this moment to grant us strength, to help us feel community and be in community together. And we turn to page 138 as we welcome in Shabbat and join together in singing Lecha Dodi.
Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla lecha dodi. Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla shamor v'zachor v'dichur echad. Anu ameyuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, Neshem u'giveret v'litila, Lecha dodi, likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla lecha dodi. Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, ki mekor haberacha. Rosh mikdem nesuka zov ma'aseh b'machshavat techila. Please stand, and we turn and face the door as we prepare to welcome the Shabbat and sing lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabla Boi v'shalom Ateret ba'ala Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola Toch emunei Am sekula Bo ichala Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabla
And we remain standing and turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai
Turn to page 148 as we join together in the Hebrew of Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 151, we read together at the top of the page. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And together we turn to page 152 for Shema.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. And we turn to page 154 and we'll join together in chanting the Ahafta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanta levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uverechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uksharatam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
And we turn to page 157 and we join together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. And we join together with Mi Chamocha on page 158.
הים לפני משה מים סיירי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד
We turn in our prayer books to page 160 as we come to Hashki Venu our evening prayer of peace, asking God to watch over us and guard us throughout the night.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Ve'hamitenu Shomerenu shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Ve'hamitenu shomerenu lechayim. Save us for the sake of faith. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Ve'hamitenu shomerenu Elechayim.
And more than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. And we turn to page 162 as we join together in Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam berit olam Ein Yuven Bnei Israel, Oti le'olam, Oti le'olam, Vishamru Bnei Israel, HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam be'olam, Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, Asa V'etaret Vishamru B'nei Yisrael HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam be'olam U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru b'nei Yisrael HaShabbat Asor et HaShabbat L'Torot V'Torah V'Shamru b'nei Yisrael HaShabbat Asor et HaShabbat L'Torot
And we turn now in our prayer books to page 164 as we rise for the Amidah.
Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi yagit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chastehavot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neiyem, Helaman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav leHoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech nofrim v'rofeh chorim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatz mi'ach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Page 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. And we turn to page 177. And as we welcome in Shabbat and we bring our week to a close, we take a moment of gratitude, a moment to think about those things that we are thankful for that happened perhaps in this week. And we turn to the words at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And I'm going to invite Michaela to join us on the bima. And in this moment of offering prayers, we turn to our prayers toward the state of Israel. And Michaela and Cantor Eicher, underneath the prayers that are read, are going to play a song of hope, an anthem of hope. So often it's an anthem for which we stand and we sing words. This evening we're going to stay seated and we're not going to sing, but rather allow this melody of hope to uplift our prayer this evening. And we turn first to words of Achenu, prayer for the captives not found in your prayer books, which will be followed by a prayer for the state of Israel, also not in your prayer book. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. For our siblings, our brothers, our sisters, the entire family of Israel, for all who are in the midst of distress or taken into captivity, whether on sea or on land, may the ever-present One have compassion for them and bring them out from suffering to relief, from darkness to light, from oppression to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. And together we say, Amen. And a prayer for the state of Israel, written by Anat Hoffman. My God, Eli, in this sacred moment, give us hope for Israel and her future. Renew our wonder at the miracle of the Jewish state. In the name of the pioneers who made the deserts blue, give us the tools to cultivate a diversity of Jewish expression in Israel. In the name of our fallen soldiers, give us courage to stand up to the words and ways of zealots, those in our own midst and those among our neighbors. In the name of Israeli inventors who have amazed the world with their innovations, help us apply the same ingenuity to finding a path to peace. In the name of all these individuals, grant us the strength to conquer doubt and despair in Israel, replacing doubt with action, replacing despair with hope, and together we say, Amen. Thank you, Michaela. And we turn in our prayer books now to page 371 as we turn from prayers of hope, and we continue with those prayers of hope now to prayers of healing. And if you are thinking of someone who is in need of healing, I ask you at this time to please rise. And together as one community, for those who are standing, we say aloud the names of those for whom we are thinking who are in need of healing. And we take all of those names into our hearts and ask that God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. You may be seated, and together we join in singing Mishaberach.
bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing Bless those in need of healing with the Flora Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing
And we turn now in our prayer books to page 178 as we take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
Shalom Rav HaYisrael Lamecha Tasid Le'olam. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Lamecha Tasid Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Letov einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שחר בשלומך. Baruch atah Adonai Oseh HaShalom.
Hello, my name is Mindy Resnick, and I'm from the United Hebrew Board of Trustees with some announcements for you tonight. Our first announcement is tomorrow morning at 9 in the Javelin Youth Lounge. There will be Torah study. It will also be on Zoom. The Shabbat morning service tomorrow will be at 10:30 in the Spielberg Chapel and also on live stream. Some upcoming events that we have here. On Saturday, July 6th at 1 p.m., we will have the Singing Bowls meditation, and that will be in the school hallway. On Friday, August 30th at 6, we have a Shabbat service celebrating Cantor Eicher in the sanctuary parking lot. That'll be a big one. And on Friday, September 6th at 6:30, we have our sanctuary dedication. Throughout the summer, Shabbat services will be in the Spielberg Chapel, and Torah study will be in the Javelin Youth Lounge. Each group has a code to enter the building, and do please remember to park in the school office side, so the opposite of where you parked tonight. For information on additional upcoming events, classes, and programs, be sure to check the UH website. And we wanted to thank our tech team for making it possible for us to meet also virtually tonight. And go ahead and check out our website for the office and gift shop hours. Thank you.
And we turn now in our prayer books to page 586 as we rise now for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא זמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומורדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591 ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. And we turn to page 595. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. We now think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. As this Shabbat, we think of those for whom we are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning: Flora Eisman, Marilyn Schreier, and Geraldine Smith. This week, this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits and we lovingly remember Samuel F. Abrams, Stephanie Simon Allen, Walter Arnowitz, Robert Bob Balk, Jack Birnbaum, Paul Blank, Oscar Block, Dr. Benji Boonshaft, Sam Bronstein, Dorothy S. Campbell, Natalie Nikki Kaplan, Leslie Liebschutz Carnes, Annie Morris Cohen, Goodman Cohen, Sylvia Shapiro Cohen, Joseph M. Davis, Gary William Davis, Thiesel Deichman, Diane Deutsch, Fred Dubinsky, Stanley O. Feldman, Zelda S. Fields, Sidney Bernard Fisher, Leo Frankel, Joel S. Gersman, Paul Goldblum, Herman M. Goldman, Marshall J. Goldstein, Rose Sinkoff-Graber, Anna Gralnick, Ann D. Grossman, Leonard R. Groh, Irving Halley, Lester Harburger, Hortense Jacobson, Sophie Jaffe, Sam Cantor, Carol Louise Kaufman, David Keene, Libby Keller, Mary Leventhal, Harold J. Lending, Celia Levin, Dorothy Lee Lewis, Paul Liss, Barbara Rubin Margulis, Mary Mayer, Paul P. Meyer, Warren Freund Milius, Augusta Morris, Bertha C. Newmark, Michael Block Palins, Patricia Jean Portnoy, Bernadine Rodenberg, Rose Rothbarth, Harry H. Rubin, Leonard Rubin, Barbara Scheinberg, Elliot D. Schenberg, Sam Siegel, Joseph W. Shapiro, Morris Siegel, Robert Siegel, Sadie R. Silverstein, Mary Ann Stein, Herman M. Stern, Donna Rothman Stone, Johanna R. Strauss, Davis Warshaw, Wilbur A. Weiner, Harold Yalem, Alan M. Yedlin, Roberta May Ziegler. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. And I now invite everyone to please rise and stand with our mourners for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei almaya, Yit barach ve'yishtabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh ve'yit hadar ve'yit halev ve'yit halal shemei dekudashah barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiram be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. And may the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. And together we say, Amen. And though at the beginning of our service I spoke of our Jewish community not participating as a collective in Pride this weekend, I do encourage you and invite you, if you have time, go downtown, go and be a part of it, go and celebrate and be proud also of being Jewish and celebrate what it means for people to be authentically and openly themselves. And I would also remind, if there are people protesting whatever you believe, just don't engage, just leave them and let them be. It is better that way. And this Shabbat, I just want to acknowledge that this is not the last, but right now for a while, one of the last times that Cantor Eicher will be solo as Cantor on the Bima. As next Shabbat, we invite Cantor Sherelle Richmond, who will be joining our staff on Monday as new cantor in our congregation, and she will be singing with Cantor Eicher for the next couple of months. So
we'll be jamming.
We will continue to celebrate the beauty of music here at United Hebrew with them together. And as we close our service tonight, we do so with a prayer for peace, a prayer that we may find and experience peace on this Shabbat, and that as we experience and find that peace, that we will send it out into the world, helping to bring peace to our world. Shabbat Shalom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom. And I remind you to please return your prayer books to the carts. Thank you so much.